Hi guys, this is Chris with CodeChris.com. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. And today what we're going to talk about is 2018. What's going to happen? Why am I doing what I'm doing? What's up? What's going on, right? First off, a couple things are going to start changing, and these are things that I've wanted to do for a while, but essentially the point for 2018 is really start to generate income, right? Now I work a full-time job already, and I'm not like trying to be full-time YouTube or anything like that, but what I'm trying to do is the reality is that we have economic things we need to fix and all this stuff. So how can I address that? How can I fix that? And here's some things that I wanted to do anyways, and let's just get the process going, because the hardest part about doing anything that's entrepreneurial is just really just getting started. So what can I actually do? Well, so we're looking for additional income for 2018, and obviously I've done that with the new job, but there's more, and there's additional things I want to do as far as just start having different revenue streams start to happen. Now, when I started the channel, I didn't think I would ever press the monetize button, but I guess that's going to start changing. So a lot's going to start being changed and tweaked, and you'll start to see it. So first of all, things that are changing that you will notice, will not notice, it all kind of depends, right? So one thing obviously that I'm doing a little bit differently that I've wanted to do for a while is I'm actually going to do some more editing. And I used to do this more so in the beginning, but then time got very limited. What's different though is me and my wife have talked, and essentially looking for additional ways and means of making income. I think YouTube has potential for me to be something else, right? It's a platform to help promote yourself and everything like that, but I'm no longer using YouTube to try and get a job. I mean, it's not like my content's going to change, but maybe the format will a little bit. I can put a little bit more time into the videos that I've wanted to do, but yeah, I wasn't putting as much time into it over the course of a day because I just don't have a lot of time. So things are going to start changing, and one thing that we've kind of agreed on is, to make additional cash fast, I can essentially take on a part-time job. Trying to avoid that, right? So instead, why don't I use my skill set to try and grow and do all that? And that's kind of what I was planning on doing anyways, maybe a little bit later. But of course, as that one guy says, it's a song, tomorrow never comes. That's a song, and that's the idea. Tomorrow never comes. So anyways, so 2018, really it's already begun, and you may not have noticed it, but it's already begun. And there is another YouTuber, and I totally am blanking out on his name, but he basically talks a lot about the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Roberto Blake. So this dude here, actually, hang on. Whoop. Must hurry fast. Okay, cool. So this is this guy. His name is Roberto Blake, and he has a YouTube channel that's pretty awesome. He talks. Actually, that's his catchphrase. He talks a lot about sort of how to grow your channel and all that stuff, and more importantly, how to do a lot of this kind of stuff, right? I'm not an SEO guru. I gotta admit that, but things are gonna change in 2018 because I really need to be a little bit more of an SEO guru. Now, I used to do a lot of this stuff more so in the beginning of my channel, and it's interesting because some of those are the most popular videos, and I've gotten the most random people. So I think that's what I need to go back to and change up, and because I want to put more focus into my YouTube, right? So the other thing too is I'm going to be completely, well, for the most part, it'll be completely transparent about this new revenue streams that I'm trying to generate. Why? Because it's going to give me some sort of motivation, very much accountability, as far as just progress. I already do these monthly updates once a month where I go ahead and try and show what I've been doing, talk about what I'm excited for in the future. But what I also wanted to do is, with this new idea of trying to generate revenue from different streams, I wanted to actually start the process of, actually I should probably get better lighting. So what I should probably do is go ahead and do some of the recording for the actual monetization part, for the actual money part. And let me just make sure my phone didn't die. That camera's about to die, so I'm gonna cut that one out because it's low battery. Okay, now we don't have a corrupted file. Okay, anyways, going back. Okay, so anyways, the point is, for 2018, let's just run through some of the things that are going to happen, that are going to change, well, not change, but are going to be added. So the first thing you probably aren't going to notice really takes place for SEO reasons. That means using the tags properly. It means putting in a proper description. It means putting just a little bit more effort into my stuff. If you look at a lot of my earlier stuff, I used to put like little thumbnails and put work into it and whatever. The thing is, now I basically like whatever, just throw them out because I don't have that kind of time. After talking, we're going to put more time into this, right? So if it is more like a part-time job, if it is more hours, that I'm actually putting into it, then I can justify that because I'm trying to create this sort of return on my investment, right? Because once I make the thumbnail once I do the SEO once I do whatever once, theoretically it should come back because it's set up forever, right? I can always make it better, but for now at least there's something there. So that's something I'm going to be getting a little more into because it's also important for a number of different reasons. Also because, okay, Chris, you're super excited. You just gotta gather it all together, buddy. Okay, here's the stuff that I wanted to talk about that I haven't even touched yet. So let's talk a little bit about this SEO stuff. Is something that will work for multiple pieces, right? The first thing is obviously myself. For my YouTube, but also for a friend who I'm going to be helping set up her YouTube channel, just kind of helping her get started, and good stuff with learning all this, right? All right, enough about SEO. SEO is boring. Let's get to the other stuff. Okay, affiliate links. So you may or may not notice, but I'm going to start doing slowly, and then I got to backtrack it through previous videos. Previous videos aren't dead. So what you do is you start and associate with affiliate links. Now, for me specifically, I'm actually going to be using a, everybody has some affiliate link based on like how much they make, or what they do a lot, whatever. So I know a lot of people who do the Udemy affiliate links, which is fine, but to be honest with you, I don't do enough stuff with Udemy to justify it, I would argue. Plus, I'm not very comfortable with their program. But the affiliate links that I'm going to be using predominantly, at least right now, is going to be Amazon, and it's going to be Backblaze. Yeah. So that's to back up your whole computer up on a cloud, and I like the service. I'll probably talk about it later at a different point. But the point is, those affiliate links will start being in the bottom of my description, and it's something that, once again, I don't imagine making a lot of money, but it's something I need to start experimenting with. A lot of this is about experimentation, because once you start experimenting, you can start to figure out what's working, what's not working, etc., etc., etc. What else? Consistency. So I think I finished off the year pretty solid as far as being consistent with always releasing a video. And with that being said, at least once a week. And with that being said, 2018 will be a lot more consistent. Specifically, my goal is to figure out, because I'm still figuring things out, it's to really figure out, okay, can I have a day of the week or a specific time, day of the week, or I release a video? Do I have a live video once a month or something like that? I don't know, but the point is I'm going to have some sort of release schedule, because right now there's not really a release schedule. It's just like, oh, I didn't do my weekly one. Okay, cool, let's set that up. And I try to schedule them out, because that's one of the things I can do now, which is like way more helpful. I can actually like schedule out the different videos, so that's very helpful. We'll find out what's going on with that going forward. Also, a friend, as I said, semi-transparent. So a friend of ours is looking into getting into an e-commerce site, and which is great because I was looking at that last year, but obviously things got busy. Long story short, I'm going to help experiment with that whole idea and that whole process, because they want to create a physical good, and it's a niche market, so we'll learn more about that as it happens and starts to unfold, which is great. The other thing too is, so Joe over at Coding Phase mentioned making like some small sites with tools and ads or whatever. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. He's actually created a course for it. You should check it out. fits in his thing. But the point is that, so that's something that I'm interested in doing and having checked out. So I'll experiment with that idea as well. Once again, it's really about experimenting, seeing what's working, what doesn't work, etc., etc., etc. And then some of it's just good practice. Small little sites like the tool. You know, the CSS generator is an example he used, but there's other ones obviously that we need on a daily basis or we'll use often, or ideally in markets that don't require any code. And so I can see also how that can overlap possibly with some of the new knowledge I'll acquire about the niche market that we're looking at for an e-commerce site. Once again, we'll find out what happens. CodeChris.com right now, this site is really just my portfolio site. Like, there's really not much to it, right? It's just got links to things for me. It's got an about me video, and it's basically just got some work I've done, some personal projects, whatever. So there's not really much going on here in regards to monetization. That's not really what it's built for. It's not really built to sell anything. It's not a selling platform. But, you know, I'm happy with the job I'm at right now. And really, this isn't so much about getting the next job. What this is about is starting to make that additional income and starting to, you know, eventually, who knows what will happen. It's not so much about just, I need a website to get a job, I need a website to impress people, whatever. So really, now start to see a slight change in that website actually having content, actually having a purpose for content delivery and some sort of way for me to find monetization. Now, all of this monetization, all of this talk about whatever, what exactly am I talking about? Well, I know animation. Animation's my background. And I think in the future, and just in general, the web animation is not used as much as it can be or should be. And some of that has to do with the mix of, you know, it's a different field. I don't care what anybody says. It is a different field. It's a different way of thinking. You can do little things, but at the end of the day, there's a reason and a rhyme to why things should be animated the way they are. And there's really cool ideas and effects that people want to create, but maybe they haven't thought about it, right? So, you know, we're talking about the idea of effects, like visual effects that would be in like motion graphics, or it would be in like post-production for website or for movies, starting to bring those down to the website level, and so people can interact with these things that are just completely different from what they've experienced. So with that being said, what I want to do is start to mess around with and explain and basically do some tutorials on that. Now, it's not going to be like beginner, expert, or, you know, I'm not going to go through the whole process of like starting with HTML, then you learn CSS, then you learn JS. There's enough websites out there and there's enough tutorials available for free that already do that. So that's not really what I'm trying to do. What I'm going to be doing is an actual niche. My niche is web animation. If you're interested in web animation, if you're interested in making things animate with certain JS frameworks, if you're interested in animating it with CSS3, if you're interested in making it work on all the different browsers, that's what I'm going to be doing. That's going to be my niche as far as tutorials go, because that's where I can bring in my background of animation. As far as how I'm going to monetize from that, how I'm going to do content distribution, those are all questions that are good, but until I actually know specifically all the different content I have generated, why bother getting into it? At the moment, it's really about just creating a ton of content, releasing it. A majority of it will be free, and then figuring out how to monetize that premium set. And from there, what can you do as far as how to make it fair, but also competitive, but also have people interested in buying the product. That's a different spot once we get there. The entire process is going to be recorded from beginning to end, which really won't have an end, but I guess it's going to be recorded from that entire process. All the different revenues will be recorded. We can go ahead and kind of see what's working. Do I reach the goal that I'm trying to get to, which is about $500 a month. The other thing that seemed very beneficial, and I kind of talked about before last year, was, or 2017 is still now, but one of the things I talked about before was the idea of setting up milestones. And one of the biggest factors with the milestone is the date. By setting up an actual physical date on the calendar, it gives you something to point to look forward to, and to actually step on. So with that, I'm going to be a little bit more consistent with having deadline dates. Like, I want to, at bare minimum, have this content ready on this date. I should have a premium idea by this date. I should have an e-commerce setup, SSL certificate, all that whatever by this date, right? All those kinds of things are important, and I'll try to do my best to go ahead and kind of have those dates in public so that there's once again more accountability. So pretty much a lot of this is going to come down to the idea of building a lot of things up, advertising, rebranding. Right now, if you go once again to my website, you'll see I kind of advertise myself as a web developer, right? I work now as a front-end developer, and that's like my main focus and niche. Well, I don't know about niche, but it's my main focus. So this is actually going to start changing, where now it's going to be more about, Chris Marlowe web animations or web animator or something like that, right? That's I'm going to start changing things up. You'll still have like a link to, these things or whatever. I don't even think I need a Codecademy anymore. It's gone. But really, the GitHub and LinkedIn and the blog. Maybe I should get into the blog. I don't know. The point is that I'm going to figure out a couple of things that are going to start changing this visually. But that's okay, because it's served its purpose. It's done a good job. And honestly, this was done like back in the beginning days, so it can definitely be better. It's due to be updated, all that fun stuff. But of course, the thing is, it was important with me to get consistency across all the different spectrum. So throughout all my stuff, you see this thumbnail, right? So what I have to do is I need to keep the color scheme, right? Because that's been linked to me now, and it's been linked to my thumbnail. And what I'm going to do is start changing, or rather switch out my profile photo for one that's a little bit more relaxed, maybe a little bit more different, and get a little bit more of my personality in there, because I no longer need to have this professional aesthetic now that I have the job I do have, and with the direction of the niche and how I want to take Code Chris, then that's really, that whole thing. What else? I think that covers it all. So yes, and also with the rebranding, once again, I will use the web animations for tutorials, and I'll still try to keep the rest of the channel exactly the same, right? So it's still about motivation, and I'll be getting a little bit more into entrepreneurship, since I'll be doing a lot more of that. And then of course I will still have sort of this vlog thing where I'm recording my progress and how I'm going through stuff. So, and I don't know. So I'm also going to try and get more in touch with the community. So for those of you who leave comments, thank you very much. For those of you who have it back and forth with me, who have sent me emails, thank you very much. And I don't know, like I'm going to try and just be a little bit more consistent with trying to get back and forth with everybody. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's going to be an exciting year. So please keep your eyes open. If you know somebody who might have interest in any of this stuff or any of the videos that I currently have, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.